This is Swastika Shruti and you all are watching Anynews. Well, mental health is something that mass of the audience just ignores. To let you know, we all are in the month of the mental health awareness and it starts from 1st of May till 31st. Before this month ends, so to let you know more about mental health awareness, we have the guest of the day, Shravya ma'am. Hello ma'am, most welcome. Welcome to Anynews ma'am.
Welcome.
So, I would like to ask you without first introduce yourself ma'am.
Okay. So myself, thank you so much for the warm welcome. Myself, Shravya Megan. I'm a counseling psychologist. I hold around 5+ years of experience in the field of psychology. So experience especially in the child cases, handling child and both adolescents. Right now, I'm working with one of the corporate hospitals and corporate top MNC as a freelancer.
Wow ma'am, it's incredible because psychology is something people ignores all the time. So let's shoot the first question. How important mental awareness is for you?
So yes, mental health is something that plays a very important and major role in our daily life, entire life also. So that is something we also ignore. We know that we are not really up to the mark. Getting a lot of negative thoughts. I'm stressed. My day is not really good, but still we just give up on that. We just go with our daily activities. Rather, although we have a lot of issues, the problem where that occurs is we unable to cope up with the issue. So we don't really look at it pinpointedly how well I can able to manage, how well I can able to overcome from the issue. So that is the awareness lacking. Although you are suffering a lot, you are having too many mental health issues or signs or symptoms to identify easily, but they don't really where to go, whom to approach, whom to talk. Although they want to take an initiative, this is a problem where there is no acceptance in the society. That is a very great stigma right now in the society.
Yeah, and yet it continues. So, ma'am, like when we talk about mental health, this has evolved after the pandemic mostly. Like it has, and different sections of society has been impacted, maybe kids, teenage, or adults. So, what is your take on that? How impactful mental health is?
So very true. Even before the pandemic, this mental health is a very big toll.
Yeah.
That's taking a very big toll, wherein we do see beginning from the childhood to adolescents, older age people, it is impacting very badly due to our personal, family, financial, lot of things we are up to. So on each and every aspect we do go, something is not really up to the mark, we get upset, we don't really cope up with that situation. Again we move on, but the emotion we are bottling it up. But again something happens, we bottle that emotion. It's end of the day, that's like a big package end of the day. So that is impacting on you, and especially as you mentioned, after the pandemic, during the pandemic and after the pandemic, we have seen lot of changes, mental health challenges, especially because that showed a very huge impact on their emotional issues as well. Because when the beginning of the pandemic, we have seen the health is one of the very big thing for everyone, right? When we just started seeing cases are increasing widely, there is no medicine, there is no vaccine. Even vaccine was also not there initial. Yes, so even people are really scared to move, survive. So we can't even breathe properly. It is contaminating very badly. So these are something where everyone is so anxious, even including you and me at that point of time. Although at that time we don't really think, I know how to manage my stress. We don't really think of it. We just go with the flow because it's threatening situation to each and everyone. So beginning of that even till ending now, even somewhat the other, even the new variant has come up recently. Day before yesterday also we have seen the news, Hyderabad, one more variant we have seen. So these are something always, these days we able to adapt with the COVID, we able to adapt with the pandemic. Somewhat or the other we are having that awareness, we can able to survive cope up with that. Okay, let me take the precautionary measures to avoid. Anyway, we took the vaccination. That is one of the mental health stability that we do had. We had a belief on that. These are something which are really helping, and especially after pandemic. Yes, as you mentioned, as you asked, beginning to childhood, older age people, elderly people, it is impacting because we have lost a lot of family members. We have seen so many incredible traumatic events over the period of time. That is something, even personally I have gone through a big trauma. The second wave, the first wave, directly there are a lot of people who lost their parents, brothers, sisters, due to lack of medical facility, although they got the viruses too much, affecting
Yeah.
people. So because of that, everyone are in that trauma. They are leading, although society, our living style or work or career path, lot of corporate employees, they are back to office, return to office. We have seen all those things, but they are surviving. They have to move on because that's a career path, right? There is no any other way. So at that point of time, although they are doing their work, but back of their mind, that stress is still there. When they come back to home, when they get that incident, or over the even these last year, even I have lost my closest people, family members, dearest people. In the same way, if you take every family, everyone are having the trauma and event in there, wherein that is acting like a PTSD, post traumatic stress event in everyone life. Especially if you take that, if you take children, even in them also we have seen lot of changes. Children don't really want to go to school. They don't want to sit in the group of people because they are getting isolated as due to the pandemic, online classes. Now children are not really okay to sit with a group of people, wherein people are lacking on the social skills. I mean, like children. So parents also don't really think in that manner. Yeah, this is really matters. But right now our life is important. Let me look at the child safety. That is important aspect comparing to. So indirectly there are a lot of many areas which is getting impacted actually.
Yeah, actually. And because of this, a lot of tensions are also arising within the families and friends.
True.
So, women are taking women as a sensitive part of the society always, since very long, and yet women are considered sensitive part of the society, and they are commonly known for their mood swings and their variable demands and mental disturbances. So, how normal mood swings are, and how should women deal with it, because women are also guarded up with responsibilities. I'm just not saying women are only, but yes, apart from the added difficulties and stress they have, they're trying to neutrally balance their families, friends, and also the added stress that they have. I hope you are getting my point. So that's my point. How normal this mood swing is, and how should society take this?
Yes, that is one of the very important point that will also help, because as we're discussing, this is a mental health awareness month, right? Yes, especially when we take the female, I mean like women, although they are very much empowered, independent, they able to do things on their own. We have seen a lot of huge success, women success stories from women, right? So along with that, as you mentioned, they play multiple roles, right? So they play mother role, a child before they get married. She's a daughter, she's a grown up adult woman, then wife, mother, follows. Along with that, these days we have seen a lot of women not really sitting just in home. Some or the other, they have their own startup. If you see a lot of women even in the urban areas and villages also, they are doing some or the other. They go to daily wages, or they at least they have to look at their family. They do stitching, or what we say, machine works, and a lot of things. Beginning from that, even now people who are working in the corporate offices areas and all, they are also playing very major role balancing their life, family, financial, career path. Lot of things. It's not just about one dimension, as you said. If you take a single example in our daily life, if something really is not working, how do we be?
Stress,
It's
pissed
like
off.
a trauma.
Yeah, it is.
I had a lot of plans on this. It just drained off and a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
It's not really easy to cope up. Along with that, when a woman is working, being a working woman, also playing a role as a mother, she has to take care of the children, she has to manage households, she has to take care of especially child career, their career growth. Is my child completely able to perform very well in the academics? They have there are a lot of things that if you take only children and the, leaving that apart, again she has to start her career after 2 3 hours as like an working woman. She will go to office. There are a lot of targets to achieve, between there are a lot of women mood swings, as you mentioned. It's not, I don't really say it is a mood swings, but it just happens because
Change of
emotions.
maybe.
Very true, because obviously we say it is a swing because till now she maintained her role as a mother, and now she's coming back to office. She has to take care of herself, her husband, and again come to office. She has to finish the work whatever the boss assigned or tasks she assigned to somebody, and wherein it's not just about a single thing. Complete mindset and everything is getting shifted into one particular role, wherein she have to be mindful about. She cannot think about the family again. Although she thinks something will get missed, again she gets shouting, and all things will play a major role. Again she come back. So meanwhile, what happens? Lot of stress she will be going through. Even if we take our life exam for an example, just because of something doesn't really go on well, entire day will be pissed off. Lot of emotional instability we show, aggressive outburst, we shout and do lot of things. If you take an woman employee playing these many multiple roles, definitely that shows, because when she's turning as a mother, and especially they get the in their physiological biological process also, that shows a drastic change, because frequent hormonal changes, frequent chemical imbalances will be there in the body. It's not just about the external environment, it is also because of internally biologically changes will be there, because she is taking a lot of stress, wherein the stress hormones will impact the body. It will impact your emotions, even our behavior, followed by conversation and all. So meanwhile, we only see the anger outburst. She is shouting, she has very less patience and all, but we see only particular symptoms, or we highlight only certain things.
Yeah, we only see the cover. Yeah, we don't see the backside.
True. So we see only certain points, but if we go very detailed, what kind of day she is leading actually, right? So all this will play a very huge role, especially when during their menstrual cycle, before especially because she will be going through lot of hormonal changes. So where that itself will get bring in mood swings, lots of hair loss, weight put on, frequent crying spells. Even we see premenstrual symptoms, we used to say, wherein they do have frequent mood swings, frequent crying spells also we do see, either or they do have too many cravings or bloating. A lot of biological function reasons also it will show. It's not just about one aspect. She is having mood swings. There are a lot of many factors which will show impact.
Yeah, and that's normal.
That is normal. That is normal. That is actually one of the great thing. At least she able to manage. And wherein what happens, what brings in here, at certain point of time, she will be getting support, understanding person, wherein she has to tackle with their in-laws, family members, husband, children. A little disturbances itself we cannot bear. So in regards to that, she has to manage so many people apart from work. So it will show some impact, and wherein that will leads to stress, hormonal changes, lot of things.
Definitely. Now let's shifting to kids, like, and not exactly kids, but technology. Technology is something that from the very first day, every human being is asked to stay a bit way away from it, because it is something one can get easily addicted to, and addiction of anything is bad, undoubtedly. So just we have come to a era where technology has hooked us all upon, and no matter how much we try to go out of it, we will not, because everything is technology, everything surrounded by us is technology. So kids, how can we try, and moreover after pandemic what has happened is, like, kids just they are supposed to start the schooling days and everything shut. Now what are they seeing is just a screen where they're learning, and that is only the medium, and that's the only thing they're dependent upon, the screen and the learning. So how should children be taken care about it? How should it how can one let children avoid the addiction towards technology?
Yes, true. That is one of the major point to be discussed, because of these days. Even if rather we're just discussing about children, if we take ourselves as an example, if we're just sitting alone or next a person next to us is, we know but we're not talking, or we are going to lunch with a group of people, we hang up with the mobile. We just go to the screen time before going to bed. Screen time, everything, we are completely dependent. If you want to watch news, yes, we have handy internet, we will go. So everything. On the other hand, as we discussing, there are a lot of benefits on one hand. On the other hand, yes, this is showing a lot of impact, as that is making the he or she, especially children, making them to be dependent, and as you said, addiction. So as we say these days, the soft addiction, what we used to say, this is one of the mental health condition that has been registered, the DSM criteria. Yes, as we said, discussing, especially in the children, we used to get a lot of cases. These days my child is unable to give up on the phone, or we are taking the phone away, but she or he is showing a lot of tantrums, not even listening to us. In reverse, they are threatening, like, if you don't give me, I will do, or I'll jump away from this thing. They are, these days the behavior also we are seeing in a drastic ways. But where are you seeing the root cause or the beginning of this concern? Especially if you take the parents, they just want to get finished their work. Also the child, they want the child to be silent. They will be getting engaged with the play toys and all. After that, at some point of time, again child will come back to the mom or father. They will, so but end of the day, they want their work to be done, so they start giving their mobiles. So it's not just about only child is getting addicted, it is about your family members. Even if you see these days, there are a lot of families where they are not really getting addicted to mobiles. There are people who got addicted to mobiles, I mean, like, dependent on screen. So it is also on the family condition, upbringing, how the child is getting up, how have you been taught, and all these things will definitely matters actually. So as you said again about the child, how he or she can able to cope up or come back, come out of the technology dependency. Yes, that is one of the important thing. Earlier they used to go to the school, now they are just hooking up to the only medium screen, right? So now it is not just about the child learning, it is also impacting on the child social skill development. Lot of development skills, sharing, socialization, these all are completely lack. So on that note, these days if you see, especially because of these 2 years pandemic, the children are not really okay to go and sit in the school. They are showing a lot of tantrums, even they have to go to school, right? So what's happening, rather than just learning, it is also impacting on the child socialization, right? He unable to express his or emotions to the next person, he unable to share anything, they're not really comfortable. But that also matters. If the child is having very poor socialization, it will impact on the overall personality. They have very less self confidence. Exactly. They are unable to speak in front of people. Inferiority. So it's not just one dimension, there are multiple dimensions which getting affected. So because of this home sticking and all, no, they are unable to perform the motor coordination, attention skills completely came down. They are unable to memorize completely. They are unable to we usually see, very true. So even their speaking skills also not really up to the mark. A lot of spelling mistakes. There is no monitoring. There is no disciplinary. How the child is sitting in this, during this thing, not really visible. So what happens? He can sit anywhere, but the face is only visible. All these things matters. But off the note, what we are looking right now, our lives are important. If we leave all those things for child, I want my child to survive. That's it. He want to be alive. That's it. Because that is a condition where we are lived in, and now we are able to marry. Slowly coming out of that zone, yes, it is showing a lot of impact on the child development especially. So that is something. So how we can able to make the child slowly assign him certain activities, tasks, and first and foremost thing is parents also supposed to take care of themselves, especially in regards to the giving mobile to the children. So when they can give, they can maintain activity scheduling or assign certain tasks. If you finish this, I will give you. So wherein they are getting monitored and controlled. So wherein they are getting finishing certain tasks, and as well as they are getting their desired object. So in regards to this desired object, you give any task. So in order to get this, you will finish, you will get this thing. So there are certain behavior techniques. Even children are playing games, but these days if you look at the child, he or she is not having proper attention skills, very poor memory. So they are, if you give them anything to memorize or follow or track this thing, they they miss it very quickly. So poor attention skills. So they miss it very quickly. So all those things, they can work on the attention enhancement with lot of techniques, rather sticking to the screen time. For children, she can especially toddlers, I mean like 4 or 5 years of age, they at home itself, to improve the attention skills, they can give certain grain sorting, wherein that will improve the child fine motor coordination, because these are the small muscle. Even we see my child is unable to write properly, finger gripping will not be there, or fine motor development. So in order to improve this, there are a lot of activities. Even we have handy YouTube also. So all these things, to come out of this technology, lots and lots of behavior therapy techniques are available, and they can just switch on to YouTube or Google. Although they are not reliable, but there are certain things, or they can take guidance through the teacher or support system, or they can go to a counselor.
Everything is there, it's just that they're being lazy towards all the hard works. So my last question, and we'll be winding up, and that is that what you want to tell the audience as they are viewing you, that how exactly, like, mental health is not given that importance. So according to you, what would you tell to the audience of Anynews, that how important mental health is, and what precautions should be taken?
Yes, precautions. Mental health is really important thing. We daily hear, even if you go to a doctor, what they used to say, our health, like BP, sugar, the very casual physiological health conditions. So how you are taking care about your physical health. If you are getting fever, you take a tablet immediately. If you are if that fever continues beyond a month or week, what do? Definitely you run to a doctor for blood checkup. So you know what to do for your body. If you are putting on weight, you know what to take care, how to take care, what nutritious food you're supposed to take. In the same way, it is equally important. Mental health also very equally important as in physical health. It shouldn't be neglected. I will give you certain main areas, functioning areas, to identify if he or she unable to stay concentrated, focused for longer time. They are having very frequent negative thoughts, repetitive thoughts, I'm good for nothing, this career is not suiting me, or they're becoming so emotional for everything. They're unable to cope up in their daily life situations, because we have lot of issues, family or financial, personal, lot of things. All those things, some or the other doesn't go really well, we get upset. If that is okay, that's a human tendency to get down, that's a stress. But this particular stress is prolonging more than 2 to 3 weeks. You really unable to cope up. You are putting weight. You are unable to sleep. You're uh, you're unable to eat properly. You're overeating. Too many cravings. All these are the symptoms where symptoms and signs you're supposed to take care as you take care about your bodily signs. So right, as I said, fever. If it's prolonging for 1 week, what we'll do immediately we run to doctor. In the same way, it is also equally important, as important as physical health. So these are the signs and symptoms. Emotions, behavior, thoughts. These are the main three domains that where we do see a lot of changes. Too many negative thoughts, repeated thoughts, behavior aspects. The child or person will be completely withdrawn from the society, or he or she wants to be sit alone, or they withdraw themselves from the people, or they show a lot of tantrums, or crying spells, or strange behavior. Emotions wise also, frequent mood swings, frequent crying spells, frequent upset. These three domains are something major areas to identify. And one more thing, that there should be a very huge guidance and support is required for especially youngsters and children. It is not just about yourself. Parents and teachers also supposed to give importance to the mental health. Even if we say these days children are very youngsters are committing suicide because they are unable to score a good mark, but they are teachers are teaching them, you have to come first.
For smokes,
Yes,
good marks,
but are they teach, or it's not just about teachers, but that is how our childhood upbringing. But we are not getting, okay, we do also have emotions. If you don't come first, you will feel bad about it, but that is okay. There is an alternative way. First you look at the problem, which is the area you have to improve, right? So they unable to manage their emotions, we haven't taught about it. So what is the only way? He or she unable to accept that particular label. They will be labeling like they don't have that acceptance in the society or from the family, from the parents. They feel so guilty. So these emotions they unable to manage, they unable to take. So that itself leading to too much of depression, suicidal thoughts, or withdrawn behavior, and lot more things. So these are certain areas to be taken care of very on a important note. As I mentioned again and again, mental health is also as important as a physical health. So as I just mentioned certain things, if these are prolonging more than a week or more than a month, talk to your supportive system, a loved one, or go for the guidance. Online counseling is also available now. And one more, the biggest stigma is these days they unable to open up. Although they are having a problem, whom to talk, how to take the support.
Yes, because they're again dependent on the technology.
Very true.
Yes.
Very true. So these are certain things plays a lot of role on the mental health. That is a stigma, what we say, that is something to be broken. So my suggestions are this for the better mental health. Try to cope up, and also rather just rushing to the doctor and a lot of things, there are very simple things we can able to manage our stress, wherein by following a lot of relaxation techniques, or going for a gym, or walking, doing something that mostly you love, or laughter exercises, meditation, Zumba, all these things. Body mobility will also help you to calm down your stress levels. So these are something which are really handy to manage your. Watch a movie, have a cup of coffee, cook for yourself. Now what gives you happiness? Try to spend some time, so that what happens when you be mindful about your activities, you don't really think about your problems. So this is something to be taken care of.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. And so the summary is that chase your hobbies, just not your ambitions, because that will help you all, undoubtedly. Thank you so much, doctor, for giving your time and such a valuable techniques to come out of stress and all the mental health issues. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
And thank you all, and we'll be soon getting back to you with the new latest interview and updates. Till then, stay tuned with the channel, Anynews.